the unity of black parties. I think this is informed by the ideological characterization of the parties that we're talking about. Ourselves and the MK and the EFF, we own the same constituencies who are affected by the same rural areas and in the urban areas. And we subscribed to similar ideologies. So how can we then differ? And we subscribed to similar ideologies. So how can we then differ? Because we subscribe to the same ideological characters. So how can we differ because of logos? That will be very petty. On issues of national importance, we must unite. On the issue of land, we must unite. On the issue of free, quality, and decolonized education, we must unite. On the issue of the shortage of water, which is currently a national crisis, we must unite. Because we share the same constituencies. Where I come from, there is no member of the DA. When I go out, my neighbor is either an EFF or an MK member. So why do we divide black people if we claim to be representing the aspirations of the working class? If we claim to be representing the interest of blacks in general and Africans in particular, why are we dividing our constituencies? It's fine, we must respect the party independence. There are issues which we cannot tamper with, which are party-based. But on issues of national importance, it's important that we come together as the black parties. And this has not started now. It started a long time ago. When we got into parliament, we established a document called the Charter, the Progressive Charter, which outlines all the strategic objectives for the unity of these black parties. And which talks about the aspirations of black people, which talks about the strategies to which we must commit and the objectives. So that is the basic ideological foundation which defines this unity that we are talking about. So it's a unity that we must not postpone. And it doesn't matter whether it's Maibuye or what, for as long as they come with good intentions and for as long as they don't have ulterior motives to this agenda of uniting black people, and for as long as they don't take a mandate from the white establishment, we must unite with them. Because what matters is the unity of black people. So we must unite black people and put our egos aside. We must put our personal interest aside. We must put our individual ambitions aside. This unity must be orchestrated, even if it means some of us must lose positions. But for as long as it carries the interest of blacks in general and South Africans in particular, it must never be postponed. So that is a unity that we are talking about, because President Zuma is always saying, these white people are funding us to open parties. Why are they doing that? The mandate is to fragment the black vote. They want us to go to the ballot divided so that they can triumph, so that the agenda by the white establishment will remain intact. So it's a unity that we cannot postpone, and it's a unity that speaks directly to the interest of black people. And then I also don't understand people who would want to characterize the state of the MK party as being unstable because we are making rapid changes of leadership. This is a new formation which has a political fragility which is inevitable because of its age. We're a young organization. We are less than 3 years. So constant changes are inevitable because from time to time, we test characters to different responsibilities. And we say maybe this character can help us to achieve this objective. And if we realize that the character, because we're still trying to study different modalities towards achieving a united and disciplined force of the left. And if we realize that this character at this stage does not take us to where we want to be, we make changes. And there's nothing wrong with that. So where do you take this instability? Where do you draw it from? Because our caucuses in parliament, for instance, are running properly. If you go to Cape Town, you will never find, if you go to KZN, you will never find an instance where our caucus members are not there because there's instability. We are developing systems from time to time through applying different methods and modalities. So that is not instability. A party that suffers from instability is a party that cannot even conduct its business, its core business. You see, we're having a media briefing here. Comrades are full here wearing a regalia. They are charismatic. They are energetic. And they've been energetic since the inception of this party. So you are very narrow when you want to characterize the party as being unstable if you are using this thing of changing leadership as a yardstick. You must go further, go beyond. Go to committees in parliament and see the participation of our comrades there. And tell me if comrades with that capacity can be coming from a in which suffers from instability. An organization that suffers from instability can't even provide a political mandate to its deployees. Our deployees go to parliament every day, guided by the mandate of the party. That's stability. So I lobby you to change that mindset because it is going to take you to the forest. It's a wrong mindset. If you want to know the state of the MK party, you need to go deeper. Go and analyze our structures. Go and analyze. It's like the people who are saying we're a party with no policies. They don't know that in 2024, we went to Bela Bela. There are policies that are in place which are defining the ideological character of the MK party. We're an organization which subscribes to Pan-Africanism. We adopted those policies and we're saying now we must go back to the policy conference so that we can comprehensively define our aims and objectives and comprehensively define our ideological character. Because the political dynamics are not stagnant. They change from time to time. So it's important for the party to revisit its policies as society continues to mature. So it's a wrong narrative that you must dispense with. Leave it to lazy thinkers to drive it. It's a wrong narrative. It's far-fetched. It does not exist. Even if we can be changed tomorrow, we can be changed or we can be removed. We're not going to view this party as a party with no stability because we are removed from positions. And one thing that we have never done to suit this narrative is to go deeper into the reasons that led to the removal of the people who have been removed. I'm sure we have never done that. The role of investigative journalists and journalists in general is more complex than that, is more broader than that. You can't rely on headlines. If SABC says Mngcwabo has been removed, Nomvalo is in, then the party is not suffers from instability. Go deeper. What has led to the removal of that comrade? What has led to the appointment of this comrade? How is this comrade going to carry the mandate of the MK party forward? What qualities does he have that the other does not have for this particular task? I think that is what you must do so that you will have a narrative which carries some substance.
In reading out the statement, and then we'll take the questions and answers after. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Somlomo, and greetings to the SGO. The entire SGO is here, the Deputy Secretary General on my right, and the National Organizer on my left. Let me also extend my greetings to members of the media and to MK comrades who have come to this press briefing. The purpose of this press briefing is to inform the members of the MK party and South Africans at large about the resolutions that have been espoused by the national officials meeting, which was held in Durban from the 22nd until the 23rd, from Sunday until Monday. Fellow South Africans, members of Umkhonto weSizwe Party and members of the media, revolutionary greetings. We address you today following the officials meeting held on Sunday, the 22nd of March 2026 until the 23rd in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, where the leadership of Umkhonto weSizwe Party undertook a comprehensive assessment of the current state of the organization, the broader political environment in the country and internationally, and also urgent political organizational tasks that lie ahead in the immediate term of the party. The Commander General, President Jacob Zuma of Umkhonto weSizwe Party, provided a very solid political guidance and direction to the national officials meeting. The national officials received and deliberated on a number of detailed reports from all functional units and executive offices in the organization, including a comprehensive organizational report presented by the Secretary General. The reports tabled in the meeting confirm that while the MK party has experienced rapid growth and widespread support across the country, there are areas that need strengthening within the party's overall institutional framework. The meeting adopted a strategic, institutional, and political roadmap to reaffirm the party's position as a beacon of hope for the downtrodden masses of our people in South Africa. The briefing is intended to provide a summary of robust discussions, resolutions, and decisions taken by the meeting, as well as the instructive political direction and mandate from the Commander General, President Jacob Zuma. South Africa is facing a number of serious political, social, and economic challenges, including deep economic inequality, mass unemployment, especially among the youth, a crisis of governance and state capacity, growing social instability, and water crisis. The current political arrangement between the former ruling party, the ANC, and its coalition partner that is made up of largely of the remnants of the apartheid hierarchy, the DA, and the so-called GNU, has failed to resolve the fundamental contradiction of our society. The GNU is nothing more than a coalition of political parties interested in holding on to power for the sake of power itself, and not the interest to serve the ordinary masses of South Africa. The shocking revelations of abuse of state power, rampant corruption and greed, collision between criminals and those entrusted to preside on institutions of law enforcement and adjudication of justice in the Madlanga Commission ad hoc committee in Parliament, and also ventilated in some cases before our courts, clearly demonstrate the depth of crisis we are facing as a nation. The revelations at the Madlanga Commission and ad hoc committee in Parliament attest to the current trust deficit between the state and ordinary citizens. The true colors and intentions of the so-called GNU are being exposed in both the Madlanga Commission and Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee. The question that should be foremost in the minds of ordinary citizens in South Africa is whether the ANC and DA government can be trusted to continue leading our society against such glaring and shocking revelations happening under their watch. The smaller parties supporting the GNU coalition are merely there to pick up the crumbs and spoils of power. They stand very little chance of changing anything, since the real power behind the GNU is the ANC and the DA, who have so far failed to act on the countless cases and incidences of abuse of state power, such as Phala matter, the sealing of bank statements regarding the CR17 campaign, the rampant looting of the Tembisa Hospital coffers by individuals directly linked to those in power, and many other cases as witnessed in the media almost on a daily basis. Under the troubling circumstances explained above, the call by President Zuma, repeated recently at his visit to the president of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Mr. Julius Malema, for all progressive black parties to unite and work together to complete the liberation project in South Africa is the most progressive political intervention suggested since 1994 to resolve the crisis facing this country. The MK party positions itself not as just another political party seeking votes to be in power, but as a liberation movement committed to the fundamental transformation of society and the immediate and direct total uprooting of the legacy of apartheid and colonial conquest. We are driven by the belief that political freedom without economic justice is incomplete. The Umkhonto weSizwe Party strongly condemns the escalating war in the Middle East involving the Islamic Republic of Iran, the State of Israel, and the United States of America, and calls for an immediate cessation of hostilities in the interest of global peace and stability. The party notes with grave concern that this conflict has already triggered sharp increases in global oil prices, which inevitably translate into higher fuel costs for developing economies such as South Africa, where transport and production depend heavily on imported petroleum. Experts warn that disruption to major oil supply routes have pushed crude oil above $100 per barrel, placing upward pressure on fuel, food, and basic commodity prices worldwide. Umkhonto weSizwe Party emphasizes that it is the poor and working class who suffer, the most from these price shocks, as rising fuel costs cascades through the economy, increasing the cost of public transport, electricity, and essential goods, thereby deepening poverty, inequality, and economic hardship. The movement recognizes both opportunities and threats before it. There is a growing support among the masses of our people for a decisive political alternative to the moral bankruptcy and indifference of the so-called GNU. While our people are looking forward to an MK party to govern, our party is at the same time facing political attacks and misinformation, attempt to discredit and destabilize the movement, risk of internal opportunism and infiltration. We will confront these challenges with vigilance, unity, and discipline. In terms of the state of the organization and work that needs to be done by the Secretary General to improve overall functioning of the party, the following areas can be highlighted: improvement of administrative systems, to cope with the rapid growth in the party, consolidation of discipline and conflict resolution mechanisms in anticipation of challenges as the party grows at a rapid pace, leadership deployment challenges and contestations arising from the very rapid growth trajectory in the party. It is important to acknowledge that the announcement and clarion call by President Zuma on the 16th of December 2023 and the excitement and the hope that the announcement created imposed conditions of both potential strength and possible weakness, as the organization did not have sufficient time to fully consolidate leadership structures, vet cadres, and build strong institutional systems while having to build an immediate election machinery within 5 months of its formation. The unprecedented positive outcome of the 2024 national and provincial elections is a testimony to the amazing work from the many volunteers and members of the party. As the party prepares itself for the upcoming 2026 local government elections and 2029 national and provincial elections, seeking to take over and lead in the majority of councils in South Africa later this year, and take over national and provincial government in 2029, it is abundantly clear that there is a need to build strong institutional, political, and accountability systems within the party. For a political party that is growing at such a rapid pace, the internal institutional challenges identified through various reports discussed in the meeting of the national officials are generally to be expected. The roadmap presented by the Secretary General outlines the specific steps and interventions to be undertaken to improve on challenges identified. The leadership has resolved that the immediate priority is to consolidate organizational discipline, unity, functionality across all levels of the party. To achieve this, the following interventions are being implemented. Firstly, immediate intervention will be paid to strengthen the conflict and dispute resolution mechanism to address internal disputes, resolve grievances, and ensure that the organizational processes are respected and complied with. Secondly, the national officials will embark on a nationwide consultative process to engage the general membership of the party in all the branches, sub-regions, and regions. This process will ensure that the voices of ordinary members are heard and that solutions are informed by the lived realities in our branches and communities. Thirdly, the party will reassert constitutional authority and centralized coordination through the Office of the Secretary General. Clear reporting systems and accountability mechanisms will be strengthened to ensure discipline and coherence. We're making it clear the MK party must operate as a united, disciplined, and mission-driven movement. In preparation for the upcoming 2026 local government elections, the MK party has taken a bold and strategic decision to establish a nationally controlled and operationally devolved election machinery. This means the organization will direct its full energy and resources towards electoral mobilization and campaigns. Party structures will be streamlined to prioritize community engagements and voter mobilization. The operationally devolved election machinery will activate direct voter contact, identify key developmental challenges, and seek guidance from our masses in resolving these problems. This approach is designed not only to win the upcoming local government elections, but to unite the organization around a common national purpose of reclaiming the pride and dignity of our people restore confidence in public institutions, and build an economy that is self-reliant and globally competitive. The meeting highlighted that branches, which are the backbone of the organization, remain unequal in strength and functionality across the country. As an immediate measure to improve this aspect, the MK Party will rebuild branches as centers of the people's power, strengthen political education and cadre development, ensure branches are active in community struggles, not just only on elections. Branches of the MK Party must become active political schools, organizing centers, and vehicles for community empowerment. We are moving decisively to ensure that the MK Party is rooted in the daily struggles of our people. To improve its resolve and tactical strength regarding policy certainty, the MK Party will convene a national policy conference in June 2026. This conference will provide a clear and coherent policy framework, guide public representatives and members, strengthen ideological unity within the movement. Following the policy conference, the party will launch its election manifesto through a national rally to be led by the president. This will mark the beginning of a mass mobilization campaign across the country. The leadership has adopted a clear roadmap with defined timelines, including immediate consultations across all provinces, establishment of election structures, a national policy conference in June, a national manifesto launch rally at the beginning of the election period or of the campaign period. And then it will be followed by the Siatata rally, which will be on the eve of the elections. These steps are aimed at stabilizing the organization and preparing it for a decisive electoral victory in the 2026 local government elections. Further to the above, the national officials have resolved to establish committees that will assist implementing the roadmap as follows. Policy Formulation Subcommittee. This committee will focus on consolidating party policies and will be constituted as follows. The chairperson of the committee is Comrade Lucky Montana. The deputy chairperson of the committee is Comrade Kanyisile Litchfield Shabalala. Members of the committee are as follows. Is Comrade Sali Dlamini, Comrade John Lela, Comrade Dr. Mtanti, Comrade Andile Mgxitama, Comrade Jabu Khoza, Comrade Kwenzokuhle Madlala, and Comrade Advocate Dalimpofu, SC. The national officials have resolved to establish the following committees to strengthen the implementation of organizational improvement plans. The National Detachment Committee, national officials, conveners and coordinators of the leagues and the student movement. Here we're suggesting that there must be a working committee. In fact, we have taken a resolution that there must be a working committee which will deal with the day-to-day work of the organization. This is in line with our structural reform and our institutional development program. So the new structures that have been established is a working committee. The working committee will be comprised by the national officials, conveners and coordinators of the leagues, and the secretaries of the provinces. The following structure will be the National Secretariat Forum, which will be comprised by the Secretary General and the provincial secretaries. In conclusion, fellow South Africans, as the leadership of Umkhonto weSizwe Party under the stewardship of President Jacob Zuma, we remain committed to unity of purpose and discipline within the party, organizational efficiency and resilience, serving the people of South Africa with humility and dedication. We call on all members of the MK Party to rally behind the vision of our Commander General President Jacob Zuma and to place the interest of our people above individual interest and personal ambition. The revolution we're embarking on is inspired by the masses of our people at all material times. To the people of South Africa,